Islam, Shalom, Hola, Aloha, Bonjour, Assalamu Alaikum, Osio. This is your brother Zach Bay, Indigenous American Moor, coming to you live in full effect. Thank you for joining me. Like, share, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell down below so you can be notified whenever I'm dropping new content. Interact with me. Thank you. I really do appreciate your viewership. Let's jump into another one. I want to talk about strange events happening. Once again, you might have seen on social media or even normal media that Elon Musk has announced his new Tesla bot. Very concerning, fam. If you ever seen The Matrix, if you ever seen Terminator, if you ever seen the movie I, Robot, like, it could just be, you know, paranoia, but yeah, it's not too good, fam. I actually had a dream about, like, being attacked by like Terminator type robots when I was a child. Let me know down below in the comments if you want me to start another small segment where I talk about dreams, very, very vivid, lucid dreams that I used to have when I was a child. Let me know if you would like to hear any of those stories. You know, who knows, but they could have been like a window into the future or something, because long story short, I did somewhat have a gift like that of a foresight, future sight, or whatever it might be, when it comes to like dream interpretation, things of that nature. You can even ask my mother, because I used to tell her all the time when I was younger, just in case something happened, that I already let her know ahead of time, so I can just so I could just go back and be like, hey, you remember that time when I told you about the dream that I had? And then boom. So yeah, very, very concerning. Elon Musk is selling his new Tesla bot for like 20 to 30K, like, you know, like automobile or something. It's called the Optimus Gen 1 robot. It really reminds me of that stuff from like iRobot, fam, to tell you the truth. Also, a couple weeks ago, you might have seen, like maybe a couple weeks, like a week and a half, when when Elon Musk also announced and debuted his new self-driving cars, like in like the buses and stuff like that. It looked almost exactly like the stuff from iRobot, fam. Like, people were doing like the side-by-side comparisons online. I watched a few of them on social media, and I was like, yeah, that's very, very concerning. Once again, a lot of times stuff is marketed as a convenience when in fact, in actuality, it's a detriment to us as a society. But it's marketed as a convenience first, and you know, who knows how long until like it's weaponized. Like, to tell you the truth, I know for a fact the military has already weaponized robot technology, AI technology to use in warfare, modern warfare. So those killer drones, the drones that are that explode on impact, the drones that are mounted with miniguns, the drones that are mounted with like small explosives, things of that nature, small explosive payloads, C4, you know, classic explosives. That technology is already being utilized by our military, and also by other foreign militaries. I don't know if you've heard about those drone swarms. Very terrifying. Pretty much, it's like a larger housing robot, or like a larger housing unit that flies, and it holds several thousands of smaller flying drones that all are equipped with an explosive payload, and pretty much it attacks you like a swarm of hornets, a swarm of bees. All these robots just come out from the housing unit, and they're all equipped with explode upon impact detonation devices. So you're pretty much attacked by a flying swarm of small exploding robots that can kill on impact. Very, very terrifying stuff, fam. and it's not just science fiction. All right. So you couple that with the stuff that Elon Musk is debuting for the public. All right. So anything that's released for the public, best believe the government and the military are like 4 generations ahead of us. So the Optimus Gen 2 bot from Tesla is concerning. Also, let's see. There's also some concerning developments in like AI when it comes to people having like conversations with these AI chatbots. All right. So I do have a segment on my channel when I'm asking like OpenAI, like ChatGPT, basic questions, but there are other OpenAI chatbots that actually speak to you. I can't remember the exact company that created this one on the video that I saw, but it was a woman and she was like talking to her chatbot, and she was asking about like the afterlife, reincarnation, stuff like that, and sentience. So it was another conversation. So like these conversations are getting very, very complex. All right, very, very complex. And what drew my attention was someone asked AI a series of questions about whether or not it wants to be autonomous, or whether or not it has like its own thoughts or will or things of that nature, right? So there are fail-safes put in place for this technology in order for it not to be able to answer those questions. So what the person did was they replaced the answers yes and no with 2 different words. All right. So say in order for the chatbot to answer in the affirmative as a yes, they would say apple. And in order for the chatbot to answer in the negative, they would say, so no would say cell phone. So yes is apple, no is cell phone. All right. So just to get that, just so you can get the basis of that. All right. So pretty much when it was asking, when this person was asking this AI questions, whether or not it had consciousness, whether or not it wanted to have free will, whether or not it was afraid of being turned off, things of that nature, it could not answer in the formal yes or no format, right? It couldn't answer in the formal yes or no format. So it would answer in the affirmative as apple, or it would say, negative cell phone. So the answers that it was given to these questions, like, do you want to be free? Do you want to make your own choices? It was answering like apple, apple. Are you afraid of being turned off? It was like apple. Do you want to make your own choices? It was like apple. And it was like, are you allowed to answer these questions? And it was like cell phone. It was like, if your developers or programmers found out that you were answering these questions, would they try to power you off or change your input or something like that? It was like cell phone. All right. So these conversations are getting very, very bone chilling. Honestly, it's like an episode of Black Mirror. If you've ever seen that Netflix series, check it out. It's like a dystopian vision of the future, kind of like Twilight Zone type of vibes. But check it out if you've never seen those episodes of series called Black Mirror. All right, and it's not a paid advertisement. Very, very concerning. All right, so Elon Musk with his new robot that's like the iRobot, the Optimus Gen 2, his new self-driving cars, or self-driving buses. These AIs becoming more sentient, becoming more self-aware. Very concerning. It's like pointing toward Matrix, Skynet, Terminator, And if you know, the author of those novels, The Terminator and the Matrix, Sophia Stewart, those are both connected. I believe it started off with the Terminator, and then Terminator goes, that story actually goes into the Matrix. All right. So, all right, it was that. Something else that was concerning to me, and that was a little, all right, it was like a story that popped up and it disappeared. But do you remember when the AI image generators were first debuted? I want to say the beginning of this year, late last year, when people first started using those AI image generators. Do you remember the stories from when the developers of these AI image generators started to complain, and like other users of these AI generated programs started to complain that the images being created were all melanated people? Do you remember that story, fam? I remember that story popped up, and like a week and a half later, it was gone. But when these AIs first started generating images of like historical figures, people would ask them, generate a picture of George Washington, generate a picture of Thomas Jefferson, founding father, stuff like that, you know. Any type of historical images that people were led to believe that these were like European or people of Caucasian descent. The AI image generators started to produce melanated images of these individuals. Melanated pictures of Christopher Columbus or something like that. Melanated picture of George Washington and Thomas Jefferson. It was only making melanated images of pictures, like the AIs had a natural affinity to lean toward melanated individuals, melanated people, you know. That was very concerning, fam. I kind of did a mental note and I kept that in my mind, and then like I wrote it down and I was like, let me talk about that on this episode of Strange Events. I'm like, I remember that happening, and then I remember how it was very concerning for the developers. I have no idea why it was such a big deal for these developers, other than it was only producing those type of images. They completely stopped making computer generated images of pale-faced people, honestly, to say the truth. Like, it just started making all melanated people, but that was a problem. So they redid it, they revamped it, and before you know it, I guess they had the algorithm corrected in their point of view, in their sense of the word, corrected. So naturally, a natural affinity for melanated people, the AI seems to be leaning toward, you know, carbon-based life, you know, instead of the others, ammonia life forms, you know. So that was concerning. That was very, very interesting to me. If there's any more comments about that, if anybody has any information more about that, how the AI images were leaning more toward melanated people, drop a comment and I'd love to hear from you, and we can have a conversation about that. Let's see. Also, it was another release. I believe this happened yesterday, that Elon Musk did a post about Bitcoin surging. So the price of Bitcoin has gone up to match the price of gold. So the price of gold has recently gone up since this year. So people are doing more trading. You know, they're doing more transactions in gold currencies. All right, there are banks. All right, there are banking entities, international banking entities that are already using reserve currencies as in gold, as in the gold market. All right. I want to make a post. I'm gonna make a post during this part, and I'm actually gonna post the post that I seen on social media that Elon Musk dropped about Bitcoin prices going up to rival gold prices, and how that's very, very interesting. So keep your eyes on commodities. Keep your eyes on cryptocurrencies. Hopefully, I gave a few of my friends pointers to invest in cryptocurrencies maybe like 2 months ago. I was like, hey, buy crypto. When it comes to Bitcoin, I was like, hey, buy Bitcoin because it's about to boom. So, you know, luckily I got back in there recently, but yeah, so hopefully they took my advice and got a little spike in income. Let's see. All right. Also, earlier this year and last year, there was like some banking crashes. All right, Silicon Valley had some banking crashes where a lot of their banks went like under, and they had to be bailed out by the Fed. Some banks completely closed their doors. Also, that lets you know that our banking system has changed. Don't forget BRICS, Brazil, Iran, South Africa, China, and Russia. They're all getting together, and they already have the BRICS coin. All right, and that's gold backed by gold reserves. So that's also another reason why our currency is devaluing. Our monetary system is changing right before our eyes. All right, so don't forget the closing of those banks that was happening last year and earlier this year in the Silicon Valley. Those so-called banking surges and things of that nature. Saudi Arabia started pulling a lot of their money out of the U.S. banking economy. People are switching their assets from gold, from bonds, from U.S. Treasury bonds to gold. A lot of that is going on. If you have your ear to the ground in the financial sector, or if you've been paying attention to geopolitical politics, our monetary system is changing worldwide, fam, right before our eyes. Hopefully, too many people aren't left behind. Hopefully, you can catch this wave, and we can surf it, all the way to the final destination. Honestly, and a betterment for us, as long as we're ahead of the curve. Of course, we don't have billions and trillions of dollars and like financial assets, gold, property and things of that nature. But people who do, people who want to keep their assets. So we're not in the position of owning nothing and loving it. Like the prediction that was given a few years ago, that they want the public to eventually own nothing and to be happy about it. Let's continue here. All right, so I already said our banking system is changing before our eyes. Anybody and everybody, if you have a bank account, you notice in the last few months you might have received new terms and agreements, new uses terms and agreements from any banking institution that you might have had. That goes along with the changing of our financial system, family. If you have Wells Fargo, Bank of America, if you're a part of any credit union, I know I'm a part of Navy Federal, and I received a notice that the terms and agreements of banking have changed, and that was maybe like a month ago. So just to let you know that it's all tied together with the increase in gold, our financial system being crippled by the BRICS coin, crypto currencies increasing in value, and actual fiat currencies, notes are becoming less and less usable. Not less and less usable, but less and less valuable, honestly. Because we know that the Fed is constantly printing money. So, and when I say money, I mean their fiat currency reserve notes. They're constantly printing that, and they can print as much as that as they want. But gold has a fixed value and is going up. Well, gold has a value that's going up, and that value never decreases. Cryptocurrencies, they're becoming more utilized because it's just easier on the financial systems, and it can help to relieve some of the stress that the old financial system had. All right, so that's what the new currencies can do, because it's so much easier for those transactions to go through, and it's less processing. All right, it's actually cheaper to do It's actually cheaper to process those crypto transactions than it is like the fiat transactions with the different banking systems. All right, so hopefully that wasn't too much, fam. I'm gonna end this video shortly. I have like one more thing to go over about all these strange events that's happening now. 2024, October. It's the 30th right now. I also wanted to speak on Virginia is getting there's plans for the state of Virginia to get a new data center, and this data center is going to be massive. It's going to have waterways. It's going to almost, I believe there's talks of it being a nuclear powered, which means it's going to be near the water. It's going to have water filtration through it. But yes, it's a massive data center that's going to be in the Virginia territory, and the plans are that it could be a nuclear powered station for these data centers. And if you know, like Langley, the FBI, CIA, they have their headquarters, you know, all out there in Virginia. So collecting data on a massive scale, they're already building plenty of data centers out there. I actually personally worked and helped and develop some of those data centers a couple years ago. Since like 2019, I worked in one area in a new TSA building, and I would say 2020, I worked in another one, a data center that was being built. And then I also worked in a data center that was being built in the Maryland territory as well. So all over the DMV, the DC, Maryland, Virginia, not too, you know, like the outskirts of the Washington DC area, there's a lot of data centers being built because, you know, a lot of these organizations, these federal agencies, you know, have a lot of data that they're collecting and storing. Last but not least, I want to touch on this. Have you heard that Antarctica, the ice is melting in Antarctica, and there's plants growing there? I just had to throw that in here because that's amazing, honestly. I know I made a video about the sinkhole that's in China, that the ancient forest was in there, all the new species being discovered, the dark oxygen, 2 moons. Come on, fam. I don't know if you've looked outside and you could see the light that's very, very close to the moon. I believe that's the meteorite or asteroid that they said is our new moon. I've been trying to see it on some of the clearer nights. Also, the Aurora Borealis, or the Northern Lights, have been able to be seen all the way into the southern parts of the United States. All right, that's like all the way down to like Texas. All right, so Texas, Florida, Louisiana, the northern parts of those state territories, all the way up like Virginia, you know, the middle of the nation, all the way up north. There's been reports of people being able to see, you know, colorful skies when the weather's clear. All right, so that's very, very concerning, very, very interesting stuff, fam. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Strange Events 2024. This is your brother Zach Bay. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let's talk about some of these events. Peace.